Hello and welcome back. Today we're talking about domain and range. And with domain, the definition we got to remember is domain is your x values, while range are your y values. Again, range, y, somehow you got to remember that those guys are connected. And for example, how this looks, excuse me, is if you've got some coordinates like down here, you've got your x coordinate and your y coordinate. Well, your x's are going to be your domain and your y is going to be your range. So all we do if we were listing these is we'd write for domain, we've got 8, 5, 2, because we follow our x's, and our range would be the y values. So G. Range would be 6, 7. Oh, there we go, 6, 7. And then we have another 6, but we don't double count. So we just list 6, 7, and move along. Oh, don't double count. Okay. Now, with numbers, that's pretty smooth. Your x's are your domain, y's are your range. What about graphs? Well, there's a couple ways to do these. The easiest way, in my opinion, with dots are, you have to remember your x-axis goes left, right, your y-axis goes up, down. So what you want to do is you want to go from your points straight down, and that is their x-coordinate. So this point is right 2. This point is right 1. And wherever these guys hit on the x-axis, when you just go straight up or down, that is your domain, okay? So our domain on these guys would be, we'll start from the left, we got -2, -1, 1, and 2. You could also write the coordinates of each point if you wanted, and then treat this problem just like the previous one, where you just list the x's as the domain and the y's as the range. But if you just want to use the graph, this is what I would recommend. With range, you do the same thing, but you're going to, I'll change colors, but you're going to go across and hit the y-axis. So how high up are these guys? Well, wherever they hit on the y-axis, if you go straight across, those are the range values. And we usually list from lowest to high, at least I do with the graph. So I've got a -2. This guy here would hit at 0, and then a 1, and a 3. And there's your range. Now, this last one's a sneaky one because it's got a line. So how do we do this? Well, what we really need is a range of values, because up top, this guy is called a discrete graph, or you think discrete dots. Okay, we got dots right there, dot, dot, dot. Continuous is a straight line, which means you can have decimals, you can have fractions. There's tons of like small little values you could have in here. So we use inequalities. And how we do it for domain, I'm looking for the left-right movement. Remember, domain is my x values, range is my y values. The x goes left, right, so I go, what's the smallest I go in the x direction? Well, it's right here at 0. What's the biggest I go? Well, the biggest is 3. So from 0 to 3, x can be any value. However, we do have an open circle right here. Because we have that open circle, we need to make sure that our inequality is correct. So I go 0, that's my smallest number, less than x, less than or equal to 3. That is my domain. Okay. And again, the reason why I use this guy here is why I have an open circle. Running out of space here, sorry. This guy here is a closed circle. Usually you're going to see closed, but again, when you see open, just remember, oh, you've got to lose that line underneath. And I do the same thing for the range. So with the range, I'm looking for the highest and lowest values in the graph. The lowest is right here, and the highest goes all the way up to 2. Okay, so my range is from 0 to 2. and I look at those points. 0 has a dot, so I go 0 less than equal to y. And the upper point too has an open circle, so I need to make sure I use the correct inequality sign for the range there. So again, these guys, you're going to have your answers as an inequality because it's a straight line. Anyway, hope that's helpful. Thanks for watching.